and I want to share some hog hunting tips gleaned from some 45 or 50 years of spending time hunting hogs.
This is a wild persimmon tree. They grow up to be about 15 feet tall, and they do have fruit.
This is a Sitka Blacktail deer.
All right, folks, there's your cooking tip for this week.
Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life.
Well, hello, my friends. It's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I want to share some hog hunting tips gleaned from some 45 or 50 years of spending time hunting hogs. Now, if you're a nighttime hunter, which most of us are, we use thermal. I'll go way back to the days when we hooked batteries up in a series and put some light bulbs in the woods and fed corn out, and we'd flip the light switch and hopefully kill some hogs. I'll go that far back, even so far back to where you put cellophane, red cellophane, over a flashlight. So I've been hunting hogs a long time. Now, and I do use thermal at night, but I hunt hogs the old school way. I still like to pattern hogs. To me, a big part of a hog hunt is patterning the hogs, just like deer hunting. Now, I don't knock, riding up on a field and shooting ARs at running hogs. I mean, that's become very, very popular, and I get it. It's a good way to reduce hog numbers. But that's not the way I like to hunt them. I like to pattern the hogs and shoot them one at a time. So I'll give you some tips the way I hunt hogs. Say there's a new piece of land, and I happen to live in Hog Central. Half a mile from here I've got two places to hunt. A mile from here I've got another real good place for neighbors and friends that let me hunt their land. And I like to pattern the hogs, and I like to have think I've got a good high percentage chance of shooting hogs when I go out. I'll start out on a piece of property, and I did this about 2 weeks ago. A neighbor that has about 45 acres allowed me to scout and hunt on their land. The first thing I'll do is identify the hog trails, and if there's hogs around, there's going to be trails, I promise you. Some of them might be, and we'll take this 45 acres for instance. Some of the trails are on the interior, but they're going to cross the fence at some point, those hog trails. That's a good place to start looking to locate those trails. Go along the perimeter fence, and hogs, a big hog can go through a barbed wire fence wherever he wants to, but they're going to pick the place of least resistance usually. A hog that weighs 150 pounds can hit a fence, a low barbed wire, and with his nose, and he can go right under it. But they will usually pick maybe where a fence goes over a ditch or a creek, a spot where they can get under it. They're not going to be jumping the fence like a deer. They're going under it or through it. So find those trails where they intersect fence lines. It's a good point. It'll save you a lot of scouting on the interior especially. But find those spots and follow the hog trails and identify the travel routes of the hogs. Now, chances are real good if you're hunting a tract of land with any size to it, you're going to find more than one hog trail. So what I like to do, I don't want to just go out and hunt. I want to concentrate the hogs for that high percentage shot that I want. Now, that usually incorporates baiting of some sort. So here's a trick for you, and it works. I've done it for years. Find the hog trail. Say you've got a spot you want to hunt that's in a little clearing in the woods or edge of a field, someplace where you want to set up. Think about getting the meat out. How far is it going to be to your truck after you shoot a hog at 10 o'clock at night or whatever? Pick where you want the hogs to be, and I'm going to tell you how to put them there. Scout those trails, and what you're going to do basically is bait the hog from that trail to where you want him to be. And trust me, they'll go 200 yards with just a little sprinkling of bait. they will. So you don't have to worry about feeding 500 pounds of corn. A 50-pound sack of corn, you can bring every hog on 50 acres to you. Find the trail and bait fairly heavily. Put a couple, 3 pounds of bait out. Now there's all kind of baits. Hogs can smell a truffle 3 feet under the ground. They use trained hogs in Germany to find truffles. A hog has no problem smelling corn on top of the ground at all. But I'm going to tell you something. I use a bait called Vineyard Max. It's a deer attractant with hammer milled grape hulls, and also rice bran and corn chops. They can smell the grape smell. It's just very pungent. You can even smell it when you put it out. So that's what I start baiting with. That'll stop those hogs, and I'll scatter a little of that Vineyard Max around. Now, obviously, I'm not going to use Vineyard Max to bait 200 yards to where I want those hogs to be. I'll get them started on the Vineyard Max, and they'll smell that grape, and they'll pick right up on the trail. Just a little sprinkling of corn, not much, a kernel every 3 feet. Once they get on that trail, they'll smell that corn ahead of them, and they'll follow it to where you want them to be. Okay, so that's off of one hog trail. You've got them leading up to where you want to set up. You might want to build a ground blind. If you're bow hunting, you might want to put a ladder stand up, whatever. I usually just back up in the brush and put a chair down and a little bit of cover, because I'm probably going to be shooting them after dark. Maybe that last 10 minutes of daylight they may come, but anyway, you're going to get them to where you want them from that one trail. Now, the night you're going to hunt, chances are they might be on another trail. Find the trails first. Bait up a spot on that trail and lead them to where you want them to be. I don't care if you have to go 200 yards. You can take a 5-gallon bucket and feed those hogs for 200 yards. Just sprinkle a little bit of corn. I promise you, once they get on that trail, they're not going to stop till that corn is gone. So then, do this a couple of days before you want to hunt. So you're hunting a new area. It also works great for setting up a corn feeder, a place you want to hunt throughout the year, throughout the season. Get them coming to that one spot, and when you get to that one spot, stop that. You're just trickling a little bit of corn. Bait it heavily. Put half a 5-gallon bucket out. And do that 2 or 3 days in a row. And before long, actually very soon, you're not going to have to worry about baiting them from those trails. They're going to be coming to that bait pile. Put your little corn feeder up. I've got a Vineyard Max corn feeder with a timer on it. The timer, the remote, works like a charm. I'll put maybe one that'll hold like 30 pounds, something like that. But anyway, any kind of feeder, you can put a big feeder up if you want to hunt that thing a lot. And then you will get hogs coming to you. So at night, I've got one that I'm about to start hunting over here about half a mile from me where I live. Put a camera on it. Those hogs are coming in about 9 o'clock, which is about an hour after dark. So I plan to just get back in my little chair in the brush and be there like an hour before they show up, shoot it, and then do I want to pack a hog, say a 125-pound hog, to my truck, which might be several hundred yards away? I don't. I have it all ready. When I go in, I'll quarter that hog up, hide on the 4 quarters, and then I'll cut him right down the back and remove the back straps. And then basically, bingo, I carry a pack with me. You could use a bucket if you wanted to haul that meat out with, but then you leave everything in the woods, and you can skin those hams out and the shoulders out easily when you get home. Folks, I hope this has helped you a little bit. I mean, hog hunting is a passion for me, and I've done it, I guess, just about every way you can imagine. But this is a way to get hogs in an area you want them to be. I've got an article in Fur Fish and Game coming out. I think it's titled, "Putting Hogs in Your Back Pocket." This technique will work. Good luck to you, folks, and on to the rest of our show.
Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornaday, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter. Stealth Vision, high-tech, precision-driven equipment tailored for the modern hunter. This is a wild persimmon tree. They grow up to be about 15 feet tall, and they do have fruit, small, kind of orangish, sweet, when ripe, edible fruit that all wildlife absolutely love. They thrive in full sun, and they like very well-drained soils. In late October and early November, when the persimmons fall off the trees, the wildlife will definitely come in. So will I. I'll pick several persimmons, take the seeds out, and put them into the refrigerator wrapped in wet paper towel for the stratification process. And then in the spring, we'll put the seeds in a small pot and get them growing. Once we get them growing, we move them into larger pots, and we can grow big trees that will be placed in an area on the property that we hunt to draw game to that spot. These trees were actually dug out of the ground. Animals will eat the persimmons, and through their feces will drop seeds, and the trees will begin to grow in the fields and areas that we don't want them. Rather than mowing over the tree, we'll remove it from the ground, we'll put it in a pot, we'll get that tree growing, and we'll be able to use that tree on another spot on the ranch. Whether you're starting a persimmon tree from a seed or removing them from the ground, it's a great conservation effort to bring animals to an area. Your wildlife management program should include planting trees in strategic areas that will bring game to you.
One of the things I really enjoy about my office here where I live is the amounts that I have in this office. Now, I used to have a much bigger office. Now it's a lot smaller when we downsized and moved to the place where we are now. But looking at some of these mounts, particularly such as this one right here, this is a Sitka Blacktail deer. That particular subspecies or species of North American deer is found along the edge of the Alaskan coast, maybe down into the far north of British Columbia's coast. They're very interesting deer. They seldom grow very, very big antlers, but they are, to me, the most beautiful of all the North American big game deer species that we have. I hunted up with Keegan McCarthy for that one, I think the title of his company is called Alaskan Coastal Adventures. Staying on a boat, absolutely fabulous food. Every day we'd get on a little skiff or one of the little Zodiacs, kind of a oversized inner tube, if you will, and get on the water. And there were times when we were getting out, and I was really questioning whether we ought to be there or not, because there were times you'd look, sitting in the boat, look straight up, and then you'd look straight back down, and that water is unbelievably cold when it splashed on you. But hunted hard. Finally got onto this particular buck in a little inlet. He was with another buck, a smaller one, and a doe, and was able to slip in there real close. Now, during that time frame when we hunted in early December, heavy snows up in the high country drive those Sitka Blacktail all the way down to the coast, to the edge of the water, if you will. And with those huge tides that they have going up and down, it delivers a lot of kelp, and they really live off of kelp during the wintertime. Got in close to this buck and was able to get a shot into him, and soon realized that he was a really nice deer, a 3x3 with brow tines, and most of the time they're just big forkhorns. So he's a really nice antlered kind of deer, but as you can see, he's also has an absolutely gorgeous cape. To me, probably the most beautiful of the North American deer when you get right down to it in terms of cape. But I have to tell you as well, they are absolutely out of this world good to eat. Some of the finest tasting venison I've ever had. If you ever get a chance to go up off the coast or on the coast of Alaska and hunt the Sitka Blacktail, I would certainly advise that you do so, and be sure not only bring back the antlers and the cape, but particularly the meat off of these deer. Bag limits are usually maybe up to 3 deer in some areas, so you can take one and then go hunt for a little bit bigger one, or one that you like maybe for another reason or so, or one that's closer to where you don't have to drag him quite so far to take him to the boat and get him properly taken care of on the mothership. Now, if you hunt off of those boats, the food is out of this world good, particularly if you hunt with Keegan McCarthy. Keegan brings in chefs that are some of the finest cooks are in the world when you get right down to it. So highly advised you go and hunt in Sitka Blacktail up in Alaska. It's a relatively inexpensive hunt compared to some of the Alaskan hunts. You know, you can learn more about it if you like to. I wrote about it in my book, Deer Addictions. It's available through both my website, which is www.larryweissoon.net, or Luke Clayton's website, which is catfishradio.org. You can buy that book and the two other books that Luke did, and we'll talk about those some other time. But remember, if you ever end up going to Alaska, let me highly recommend you go hunt Sitka Blacktail deer. I know you'll have a great time and you're going to eat really good.
A Sportsman's Life is also brought to you by Mossberg, American Built, American Strong, The YO Steakhouse, Catch and Release Apparel, AGM Global Vision, your go-to for thermal hunting scopes and spotters, Pyramid Air, your one-stop shop for everything air guns.
Hello folks, it's Bill, the old man at Striper Express, with your fishing tip this week on A Sportsman's Life. It's April 19th. Topwater has started. Topwater has started. It's lovely. We live for it. We have a 12-month season, but we're all ready for this. Usually it starts in May. It started a week ago in April. I want to show you my all-time favorite go-to topwater bait. That is the Cotton Cordell 6-inch pencil popper. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use it. Just like a face on a clock. 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Leave just a little bit hanging like that. Do that. Get it out there. You can throw it over the moon. Nothing like this, just the thing will go a country mile, and you know it will. Okay, when you're fishing now, watch my hands. This is where I retrieve. I'm popping with a tight line. Boom! Fish hits it. He misses it. Okay, I stop. I tighten the line a little bit and I just do this. And it makes those BBs go rattle, and the fish boom hits it and he's all yours. Okay, that's fishing him onto the hook. That's a good trick. Number one rule in topwater fishing is do not set the hook until you feel the fish pull back. I'm telling you, they come in faster than they went out. We call it incoming rounds. It's very exciting fishing, so you got to calm down. Let that fish take it, twitch it if he misses it. Sometimes they got their mouth open and they catch it like it's in center field. Kapow! That's lovely. But fish them onto the hook, wait till you feel the pull, and it's topwater time. They're surfacing all over the place. Go have some fun. What do we say? And go catch a fish.
If you're looking for the best way to bring game to the table, check out Vineyard Max Deer Products at vineyardmax.net or find them on Instagram and Facebook.
I want to cook some fried pies for you. I've done the berry cobbler in a past show. I don't know, but a year or so back. You can probably look back through our shows and see that. But fried pies are so easy. You just need some berries, and I kind of got lazy. I just picked this bowl full of berries. Not too many, but enough for 3 or 4 fried pies. You want some very soft flour tortillas. That's the key, soft ones. And some sugar and a little cinnamon, some cooking oil. That's basically all you're going to need. So let's start cooking. What do you say? So my friends, step one is to put some sugar, quite a bit, on the berries. So let's take the berries and put them over here on our old cook stove out in the cabin. And we're basically going to just reduce these down to a paste. And then we will start cooking our fried pies. So here are our berries cooked down with some sugar added and just a little bit of cornstarch to thicken them up. So basically it's pretty simple from here. Right in the middle of that tortilla. Let's go ahead and make a couple so you can see how it's done. Spoon a little more. You can see that these things are cooked down with sugar. I put a little bit of cinnamon in there. But we're going to just basically wrap up these tortillas. They'll just fold over something like this. And then we'll take a fork and crimp them. All the way around. This will keep them together while they're cooking. Make sure and crimp the end. You see that berry filling coming out. And while we're doing this, we have our grease cooking over there, our oil, cooking oil. So that should hold them together just fine. Now then, I'll fix this other one in just a bit. I just basically want to show you how it's done. So let's take this one and put it in some hot oil, not smoking hot, but just fairly hot. And then we'll pull them out, dust a little sugar on them, and we will have a berry fried pie right from the bush to the skillet. And folks, the key here is to have a couple of inches of cooking oil, and it doesn't take long to cook a flour tortilla nor a fried pie. So let's go ahead and flip this. Oh yeah. Look at that golden brown on that one side. We're going to give that other side maybe another minute, and then we should have a golden brown fried pie. We'll dust some sugar on this, and then we will have a tasty camp dessert. All right, let's look at that other side. It probably won't take long. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, yes. Folks, I pronounced that a fried pie. All right, the finished product, folks. Let's dust a little sugar on these. Well, let's dust a lot of sugar on them. Turn them over, and let's get the other side. Bingo! Dewberry fried pies, right from the bush of the dewberry to the newspaper. Let's cut into one of these, folks, see what it looks like. Can't wait. Let's look at this one right here. All right, folks, there's your cooking tip for this week. Folks, this segment was brought to us by Gearhead Archery, Smoke Intex Electric Smokers, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, YO Ranch Headquarters, Ultramatic Feeders, and Catfish Pro. Tune in next week for some more real-world outdoor adventures right here on A Sportsman's Life.